Well, based on your cooperation, you got time served, which is around 1,898 days.
Right.
So you sat in jail for what, close to 5 years?
I sat in jail for 5 years and 3 months.
Yeah. But ultimately, you got let out.
Yeah.
How did it feel to walk out of that jail cell?
You know what, usually when you getting out of jail, man, that shit bittersweet. This motherfucker here it was just bitter. It was bitter under the circumstances, that I had to take the sacrifice like that I had to do what I had to do to get out of jail, that I had to go against, my flesh and blood. But at the same time, my flesh and blood didn't stand up for me. And I teach my kids to stand up for each other, to fight for each other, but it's more ways in fighting than physically throwing hands.
So you think that if Ksoo had stepped forward and said, look, I'll take a 30-year plea deal, but part of that deal is to let my dad out the situation, they probably would have done it?
I know they would have done it. They told me they would have done it. They told me all Ksoo got to do is come in here and get y'all out of here. That simple.
See, why do you think Ksoo took it to trial? Because you see situations like this. For example, Big Meech and Southwest T. They took a 30-year plea deal. They're both out now.
Right.
Right. And they took the plea deal because if they would have blown trial, it would have been life without parole.
Right.
Your son decided to, roll the dice, take it to a jury, and ended up getting life without parole when he could have taken a plea deal. That could have been, in the States, it could have been shaved off. 30 years could have become 15, 20 years, some good behavior, whatever else. The laws change. There's a chance. Now, life without parole is a lot harder to overcome.
I'm gonna tell you when I think this case got serious to Ksoo. I think that trial started in August. Well, I think this case got serious to Ksoo in July of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Because you gotta think, on his mother's side, his granddaddy know the streets. His granddaddy know the laws and stuff, and Ksoo and Scotty, they share granddaddies. And nobody say, man, what y'all doing? What is y'all doing? Like, somebody's supposed to told them, like, look, man, because they wouldn't listen at me. That's over. It's no way right now you could tell me that Ksoo's not in jail saying, damn, this is what my daddy was talking about all these years. Damn, this is what it is, You ain't heard Ksoo say nothing bad about me yet.
Yeah, it's a sad situation. I mean, in retrospect, I think the 30-year plea deal made the most sense in this particular situation.
Of course. I mean,
yeah.
You got to think about it. Okay, look at on the other case I had with the white guy on the bicycle. Them motherfuckers took 30 years with a smile. They took 30 with a smile, and they happy with that 30.
Well, because Ksoo's still facing the Adrian Gaynor Jr., aka Bibby murder case from February 25th, 2019. That's still ongoing. So depending on how that goes, I don't know whether they're going to go forward with it and just run it concurrently if he gets found guilty. But at this point, he's doing life without parole. So regardless of the outcome, at this point, it doesn't really matter.
Shit, it didn't matter. It mattered because at this point, I don't think it's either gonna be win in trial or drop it. See, Ksoo lawyer made this case personal for him and the prosecutors. They played a lot of games at first. They made these old comical books and sent them to the state attorney office. And I wouldn't have, me personally, if I had to choose, I wouldn't have never used that fucking dude that Ksoo had. He was a joke, the Costa dude. I would have had that little bulldog ass lady he had. That little bitch called me a sperm donor too. I didn't like that. And I would have used the lady. She was a bulldog. She fucking broke me down in the deposition. I'll give her that much. She broke me down. The guy, he was a joke. He ain't like that. I did my homework on his office. He's not like that. You know, when I hire a lawyer, I do interviews just like if I come to you to get a job and you're gonna do an interview on me, we're gonna sit down and I'm gonna do my work on him. You know, he wasn't like that.